Welcome to Off the Hanger, the fashion podcast where we delve deep into our guests' wardrobes, finding out their favourite fashion pieces and the stories behind them. Now, as I've been creating this podcast, I've been learning, and I hope you've also been learning this from listening to it, that fashion is way more than just the clothes that we wear. It's something that can fundamentally change our personality. It expresses who we are, it can give us confidence, and in this week's episode we chat about something incredibly important that actually it can make people feel safe and can save lives. So without further ado, I would like to introduce this week's incredible guest. It's Robyn Electra, founder of Gaff and Go, a transgender, non-binary and lingerie brand for anybody who tucks. In this episode, we chat about so many things, her incredible brand, how it's actually saving lives, and of course, we had to chat about her fabulous wardrobe. Robyn, thank you so much for being a guest on Off the Hanger. It's lovely to chat to you today. You look fabulous, may I say.
Thank you so much for having me, Emma. I do appreciate it. You say you look fabulous.
So you've got an incredible lingerie and swimwear brand, and I'd love to talk to you a little bit about that journey and how you came up with the brand, because I think it's something a little bit different, but I think it's something that is incredibly important.
Thank you so much, Emma, and thank you so much for having me. I started Gaff and Go. So I'm the founder and CEO of Gaff and Go. Gaff and Go is a transgender lingerie and swimwear brand for trans women, non-binary people, and those who talk. So when I was growing up, I always knew I was always female, but because of my background, where I come from, it was impossible for me to come out and be the proud woman that I knew I was. So I had to let that go. And so when I moved to England, I started my studies, and during my studies, I realized the need for trans underwear, for talking underwear, underwear that us trans women can use to conceal our genital, because it's very important as a trans woman to feel safe while in public. Talking, the most important thing about talking is for your safety. It's not like it's a luxury, but it is a necessity for every trans woman to feel safe in public.
And I think that's amazing. I really appreciate the idea that it's about safety, but I also feel, is it about how it makes you feel as a person when you look at your body? That obviously with gender dysphoria, when you look at your body and it doesn't feel right, as opposed to when you're wearing tucking underwear and then suddenly it does feel right, that must be a really empowering feeling.
Yeah, it is really an empowering feeling, because as a trans woman, we all suffer from gender dysphoria. And gender dysphoria is when there is a mismatch between your biological sex and your gender identity. When you look at yourself in front of a mirror at the end of the day, you would see things that you would like to enhance and conceal. And you start from the penis. As a trans woman, you want to wear a bodycon dress, you want to wear a spaghetti, you want to wear beautiful dresses. And in order for you to do so, you need to conceal your genital. And so you can fit into certain pieces without feeling awkward. And that's the whole essence. That was the whole point when I started, because I had so many bad experiences going out when I was not properly tucked. You know, a talking gaff, for example, is an item. A gaff is an item of compression underwear that you use, to kind of like conceal or tuck, and tucking is achieving a flat frontal look in your garments. So yeah, so that was the primary reason, to get rid of gender dysphoria that we as trans women we have to go through, because it's something that you need to fix when you're transitioning.
And I think it's actually something that, in a transgender sense, it's a very extreme feeling. But I think women of all transgender, all women, face that kind of idea when they look in the mirror. There's bits they want to conceal and bits they want to focus on. And at the end of the day, I think everybody just wants to look and feel great when they look in the mirror.
Yeah, exactly. Especially us trans women, when we look in the mirror, we want to feel great. We want to know that when we go out, we're gonna be safe. When we go out, we're gonna be seen as the beautiful women that we are. We don't want to go out and and feel awkward or feel like we are making people uncomfortable. So at the end of the day, we need to fit in. We need to achieve that female body that we knew we were supposed to have, because we are currently in the wrong body. And that's why we're doing everything that we can. And also, the most important thing at the end of the day is our own safety, because talking really saves lives. It's not just solving the problem of gender dysphoria. There is always going to be that aspect of gender dysphoria. But when you look at the end of the day, your number one priority is your safety. You want to feel safe when you go out there. You want to be part of the community. So it's just that's the whole essence of talking as a trans woman.
It's so important that people like yourself are out there raising awareness on this topic, because for me, I would have never thought, oh, it's a safety issue. I would have always thought, oh, well, it's a way to, feel more feminine, to give yourself that aesthetic, to make your body, yourself feel more comfortable in your body. I would have never thought it's a safety issue. But then I think that's because I come from a place of acceptance for everybody. And I think there's obviously a lot of people out there who we could do without, who don't have that level of acceptance for everybody, which I think, the world really needs to do some work on.
Yes, talking, it's for safety reasons. Like, you would be surprised. Okay, when I moved to England, I went to Soho. Soho is a very gay place, for example. And there was this day I wasn't properly talked. I was moving the streets of Soho, and people were like staring. And then when I moved, I went across another street. Some guys were like, swearing. Is that a fucking dude? It look, oh, whoa, that's a fucking man, like they were like swearing, and things like that. You don't want that. But if you choose to like fight with people every day for acceptance and get hurt, that's your part. But we always advise every trans woman, you have to do what's best for your safety. You have to be safe, you have to be vigilant, and talking is where you start from. A lot of trans women don't really talk. It also depends on the kind of dress you're going to wear. And at the end of the day, if you want to fit into every type of clothes that would feminize your body, every type of lingerie, if you want to be safe at the pool, at the public pool, at the beach, you can understand not everyone is as accepting. We have parents, we have friends who are not even accepting, and if you go to the beach and you're wearing a beautiful swimwear and you have a bulge, some people would start calling you names. You want your safety. You just don't have time to be dealing with people who don't accept us. So safety, apart from gender dysphoria, is the key priority why we are really pushing forward talking underwear and talking swimwear for our trans community, because we want our girls to feel safe. And when you wear a beautiful dress and you're perfectly tucked, there is that euphoria, there is that feeling of like, wow, like you feel complete, Euphoria is real. You really feel complete and you're happy with yourself.
And I think clothes play such an important part of our identity and how we dress. And I think, having that opportunity to wear tucking underwear that's going to make you be able to wear that bodycon dress, go to the pool, go to the beach, I think is incredibly inspiring. That's amazing. And did you always love fashion as a child?
Oh yeah, as a child growing up, I was obsessed with fashion. Naomi Campbell was my idol. Growing up, my mom would be like, "Oh, you're gonna probably marry Naomi Campbell." I was like, "Oh yeah." Growing up as a child, I was obsessed with fashion. I shouldn't even say love. I was like, when I grow up, I'm gonna be a supermodel. I'm gonna be a model. But growing up in a community where I was a gay man, like very feminine, even though I tried to hide it because of I grew up in Africa where it's illegal to be gay. And yeah, I tried to hide it, And when I came overseas, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to be a model. I'm going to work in high fashion. I'm going to. And a few of my friends were like, hey, a lot of these agencies don't really cast trans models. There was a time I went to a casting, and I think I had passed the first phase. And when they realized I was trans, they were like, oh, okay, sure, no problem. We'll get back to you on that and see what our clients really want at the time. This was like this was like 8 years ago, even though things are beginning to change because we are now seeing the growth of LGBTQ plus trans modeling agencies that are casting trans models, but like 8 years ago, I didn't have the opportunity. So when I launched my brand, it was a way of me putting to light all of these beautiful trans models, these beautiful girls, who are doing that thing, who are like creating an impact and we're raising awareness. and who are lifting up every trans woman, you know.
And is there a piece that you can remember from your childhood that's your earliest fashion memory?
From childhood, my earliest fashion memory was when I would sneak into my mom's closet and I would wear her high heels and I would walk around the room, you know. And I would also wear her wigs. Our African moms wear lots of wigs. It's an African thing. So I would like try her wigs, you know, wear and her heels and then try to carry on one of her African colorful blouses and wear it, you know. So yeah, it's just been one of those things like really admiring all of these beautiful garments that I knew I was supposed to be wearing, but I couldn't really wear it, you know. Which at one point it was very, very frustrating because I always wanted, you know, and I always hoped I was like born in a more accepting society.
But then I think that's great that you were able to move to somewhere that has allowed you to feel more accepted and, wear all the fabulous things that you always wanted to wear.
And yet, I was able to move somewhere that is more accepting, where I could be myself, where I could flourish not only in my professional career but also in with my mental health, you know, in every aspect, and which has been a blessing, you know, for me to wake up in a country like England, where I'm able to go out and wear what I like, you know, and just be part of the society a lot, you know. It's really a blessing in disguise, you know, and I'm really so happy.
What's the oldest thing in your wardrobe?
What's the oldest thing in my wardrobe? That's quite tricky because I have two homes and I travel a lot and I have a lot of clothes. I love clothes. I love bags. I love shoes. I'm a collector. I'm single and I love things, you know. I have a lot. And it's tricky because a lot of the times when I want to go out, maybe to an event or something, I would realize, oh, I'm wearing this for the first time. I have to remove the tag. Oh, I'm wearing this for the first time. I have to remove the tag. But the oldest thing in my wardrobe, I really don't know, you know, because I have a lot of stuff, to be honest. I do.
That's okay. What would you say is the piece in your wardrobe that gets the most compliments when you wear
Oh,
it?
the piece in my wardrobe that gets a lot of compliments. That's a good one. I do have this beautiful golden flower dress. It was a present from a friend. It's really beautiful. When I wear that, I have worn it just I think twice. Everyone is always like, oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful dress, you know. It's really beautiful. I love it.
I bet on your skin tone it looks
Oh, thank you.
incredible.
You're very kind.
Gives you that glow. I imagine. I need to see a picture, but I feel it will give you the
Yeah.
glow and it will
It's a
be
beautiful
gorgeous.
dress.
Now, do you spend quite a lot of money on clothes? Do you like designer pieces? What's the most expensive piece you have?
I spend money on clothes like everyone. I wouldn't say a lot of money. I love designer pieces as well, but at the end of the day, I try not to splurge so much on designers because clothes to me are things you just wear and wear and wear, you know. It's there are so many and with fast fashion as well, you know, with ASOS, Boohoo and all the like, you know, to you get to buy affordable pieces. Likewise, high-end pieces from Chanel or Yves Saint Laurent. And it's a kind of like mix and match, you know. Maybe today I'll be wearing like a beautiful custom-made Balmain jacket or a Chanel jacket, and I pair it up with like a skin tight, skinny jean, maybe from ASOS, you know, with like a pair of YSL heels and I just mix and match, to be honest, Just I just go in and like, okay, I'll pair this with this, and just mix and match, high end, low end, and just match.
And I think that's a great way to shop actually, because then you get that balance between having those higher end pieces that really elevate the look of the more affordable pieces, but that you also have got that availability of being able to shop for
Yeah,
things regardless of budget without everything having to be super
yeah,
expensive.
exactly. Yeah, you when you do mix and match, you kind of like balance everything without having to break the bank. like maybe a Chanel jacket and a boohoo pants, and you just mix and match without breaking the bank.
What's the newest piece that you've bought?
Oh wow. The newest piece I bought was a jacket, a black and I think it was like a blazer with the gold buttons from Balmain. And then I also bought quite a few bits and bobs from ASOS and Boohoo. Just mix and match. I just shop and shop. I just put in the basket, and when they come, I put them there. When I want to wear now, I try to figure out what to pair together.
So, are you quite sentimental about the pieces in your wardrobe? Do you have a most sentimental piece, something that you would never get rid of?
I would say mostly bags. When it comes to clothes, I mean, clothes to
Okay.
me are almost like, no matter how expensive they are, slightly disposable because when they stay too long in your wardrobe, the dye starts fading and the color doesn't look like how it was. But I would mostly say my bags. I love bags, I love bags and watches, and I'm most sentimental about those things. And yeah.
What's your favourite bag that you have?
What bags do I have? That's a good question. I have quite a few Louis Vuittons, Yves Saint Laurent, Gucci, Chanel, and the only bag I really don't have is a Birkin bag. That's probably something that maybe in the future I might, have that.
So, if the house was on fire and you could only grab one bag, which one
I
would it be?
have a crocodile case Louis Vuitton bag, a small case one. It's really expensive, and yeah, that one definitely the case bag.
What piece in your wardrobe most sums you up as a
Oh,
person?
the piece in my wardrobe that most sums me up as a person, I would think it is let me see. There is this beautiful Nina Ricci dress that I have. It's very flowery, it's very elegant, it's very chic, it's very French, it's very Parisian. I really love it. Yeah, it's really long, and I think that's the piece I would say. I come from Africa, and a lot of the time, sometimes I like to wear the traditional African prints, like what I am wearing right now. It's very African, it's very spring, the leaves, the flowers, the colors. It's just me. I like to be colorful a lot of the times, even though I wear a lot of black as well. But a lot of the time, I like being colorful.
I like that you mix and match that. I love that you've got black on today, but then you've lifted it with the colour. So you kind of have that comfort zone of wearing the black pieces, but then you've still got your personality
Yeah,
shining through a bright colour.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I do.
Now, are you somebody that's ever had a fashion faux pas or a wardrobe malfunction? These things happen to me a lot. So I always like other people to share their stories too.
I have had a fashion faux pas, and when I started transitioning, I knew very little about female fashion, about women's wear, and I knew very little about talking. And it was from my fashion faux pas I realized that no, I'm not going back to black. I'm not going back. I am going to now step up my game, and the perfect in some ways. When I started transitioning, for example, I would wear like a traditional type underwear, like women's knickers, which is like tight, and I would double so as to achieve a flat front. But these underwear were not built for tucking. They will release your bulge, your penis, and it's going to come up and it would show on the dress, something that I had no idea. So, like walking on the streets, still in Soho, and then I was wearing this beautiful green Victoria Beckham dress. I would never forget. It's a beautiful dress and it was really like tight. And then people looked at me and smiled and, you know, and I used my handbag, and I kind of like, oh my God, that was the biggest passion for. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. And yeah, and I learned a lot from that. Thank God I was in a place where the people were very familiar with the LGBTQIA plus community, which is Soho. Imagine if I were in somewhere dangerous, it would have attacked me. I was nearly attacked at one time. I have a lot of friends who've been attacked, and yeah, for being a trans woman, which is pretty sad, So a fashion faux pas, I try as much as not to, Yeah, I'm very careful. My friends are fashionistas, so whenever I'm gonna want to do something, I pull out everything from my wardrobe. I'm like, oh my gosh, Lee, darling, what should I wear with this? What should I, And yeah. And I think life has become much easier due to the fact that I have a lot of clothes and a lot of accessories. So it makes things pretty easy for me to kind of like achieve a certain look based on where I am going. So, but yeah, but I mean, in the beginning, it wasn't this easy, It's just life, You start from somewhere and you get to where you want to be.
That's it. I think we're all on a fashion journey of discovering who we are and how we want to dress and how we can best achieve those looks. And I think I find it devastating that people would attack somebody based on them being transgender. And I know it happens, and it blows my mind that people are like that. Just get on with your own sad, miserable life and don't be so focused on other people who are just out there living their lives. They're not hurting anybody. They're not asking you to be transgender. Yeah, it blows my mind that people are like that. Madness. But I think having that moment happen to you and it then really inspiring you and your brand, I think has been obviously of benefit to so many other people, that all those other people are really grateful that you had that fashion faux pas.
Yes, that fashion faux pas, I would say, was a blessing in disguise because after that, I was like, you know what? At this stage, I don't even think that I would even trust some of the talking underwear that were being produced by a lot of people who were not even part of the community. A lot of people who did not even talk. And I was like, no, 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 I'm going to take matters into my own hands. I was going to apply my knowledge in fashion, retail, and merchandising and my extreme love for fashion to build this product that is going to be the best on the market. And I'm going to build this product and build different designs, different colors, and extend the line. And that was just what I did, Went on, we started Gaff and Go, which is now, I well, I think it's one of the leading transgender lingerie brands on the market. We have over close to 3,000 positive reviews, and we have parents and everyone, messaging us, oh my God, thank you so much. You make us proud. Our daughter can now go to the beach. And etc. When we were having our photo shoot, one of my mother's mom came to me. She's like, oh my gosh, darling, thank you so much. I'm like, oh, what for? She's like, because of you, my daughter is now very happy. There was this day we sat in the living room and we were watching TV, and I saw someone coming down the stairs jumping, and she was like smiling. And I asked her, oh my God, what is happening? She's like, Mommy, look. And I was like, oh my God, what happened to you? And she was wearing your underwear, the talking underwear, and yeah, it's been a blessing in disguise at the end of the day, because we've been able to help a lot of trans women and those who talk, because it's not really easy to get the right talking product out there. And yeah.
Do you have a piece of fashion advice that you would have given to your younger
Well, the
self?
key fashion advice I would have given to my younger self would have been like, don't worry, everything is gonna be fine. I would have been like, just take life as it is, work very hard, be nice to everyone, and follow your passion. And at the end of the day, you would see things are going to turn out just well. That's what I would have given to myself, because I used to stress a lot. I used to be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, like, how is my life going to be when I transition? Or if I don't transition, will I be able to transition? Will I be able to get accepted? Where will I be? Etc. 1 million questions, which were unanswered at the time, but now every puzzle is just falling into place. And I would have told myself, don't worry, just focus, stay true to yourself, work very hard, and you see everything is going to be fine.
That's brilliant advice. And a final question to answer. If you could have a dream fashion item, you can have anything in the world, irrespective of how much it is, what would you have?
I think right now my dream fashion item would be a Birkin.
Nice. Good answer.
Yeah, because that's the only thing I don't have, and yeah, it would be a Birkin, yeah.
Which colour would you go for? Which leather? Have you thought about this in detail?
the first should be a black.
Okay, classic black, beautiful leather, just
Classic black.
It'll go with everything in your wardrobe.
Yeah, classic black. Just keep it simple.
Well, if the universe is listening, this is the order that we're placing for a classic black Birkin bag.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah.
100%. Thank you so much for being a guest on Off the Hanger. It's been fascinating talking to you.
Thank you so much, Emma, for having me. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please check out some more episodes of Off the Hanger.